Okay, part 4 of the Dear Evan Hansen review. I am sorry that it's taken so long to get to this one. I really thought I'd have the review done by now, but in all honesty, I didn't even know if I wanted to finish the review. Um, about 95% of the people that have been bugging me since the announcement of the movie for a review, like asking me if I was going to see it and all that, about 95% of y'all haven't watched any of these. And uh, nobody's seeing these. It's fine on YouTube because I wasn't. It's not like I didn't really want to put them there in the first place, but I put them there for friends who I don't have on Facebook and who don't have Facebook. And I've asked friends if they've watched it. Some of y'all have just straight up ignored me, and others uh, haven't. And these are the people that were bugging me for the review. And with the important stuff I want to talk about, not with the show, but with my personal life, I don't want to be doing this for nothing. And so, I've asked, and it's one thing that I'm like curious if people are waiting until I'm done so they can watch everything, but nobody's given me any indication that that's the case. I'm really like just my motivation for this review. I already didn't want to do it, but my motivation has definitely plummeted to zero because if nobody's going to watch this, then what the hell am I doing it for? But for those of you who have watched, the very few of you, thank you. Um, you'll be here to hear the things that I want to discuss concerning myself. Um, so whatever. I guess I'll just plow through this and finish it, and uh, not in this part because I still have a lot I want to talk about, but get it done so I can go and start talking about movies and games and such that I actually want to talk about. Um, and yeah, those of you, the 95% of you who haven't watched it, you're not seeing it right now, seeing this right now if you haven't, but I'm going to be bugging the hell out of all of you because I am not going to do this for nothing. You wanted to hear what I have to say, you're going to hear what I had to say. So, anyway, small rant over. I've just been really I was quite motivated when I started the review, and I'm very unmotivated now by the lack of people that have seen these videos. Um, Also, I'm sick right now. The only reason I'm doing this right now is because I can't sleep. Um, I've got a really bad everything. I don't think I have COVID, but um, I just a lot of vomiting, so my throat's kind of. But anyway, just get that out of the way. Let you guys know I'm sick. Um, so part 3, um, I left off after You Will Be Found, which is the end of Act 1 in the show. Um, and I went into depth with that as much as I could. Um, so immediately after that scene, we jump into the first official meeting of the Connor Project. And it's Alana running the meeting, and Evan's just kind of standing off to the side. And you see there's a bunch of people at the meeting. You see the reaction that Evan's speech has had, and I mean, you see it in the You'll Be Found scene, but you see that it's actually like it carries on. It's not just in a song. And there's a ton of people here, and this is when they announce that they are reopening the orchard that Connor and Evan supposedly hung out at, uh, and they're reopening it with the name the Connor Murphy Memorial Orchard. And they introduced Jared as side president, something I don't remember. I've seen the movie twice now, and obviously I'm not gonna remember every little detail because it's a movie I don't care about. Well, I do care, you know what I mean. Um, And I mean, Evan just kind of stands there and doesn't say anything. And then we cut to the second scene of Evan running into a restroom and puking into a toilet, which is the only way that they show Evan having like an anxiety slash panic attack, which it's like there's so much more to an attack than just running into a restroom and puking into a toilet. And it's like I don't need a 5 minute long scene of Evan having a panic attack, but it feels really um, it feels like misrepresentation. You know, if you're gonna put in your character that has these problems, then maybe have him. Well, God, there's so much to do to fix this show to make it bearable and okay, but just for a little side tangent here, show actual signs of someone having an anxiety slash panic attack, which, yeah, puking can definitely be a thing, but it's not just that, educate people on knowing the signs of these things. Just a thought. But that's such a small thing, and there's so many other big things that are worth talking about and not going into nitty gritty small details. Um, and after that, you see Evan and his mom at home, and his mom starts to like interrogate him because she saw a video of his speech online, and she's wondering. She's like, you told me you didn't know him, and I don't think I mentioned earlier. There's a scene uh, earlier in the movie. Evan's mom sees Connor's name on Evan's cast, and she starts to ask him about it, and he makes up a lie like, oh yeah, it's like in remembrance, everybody's writing Connor's name on things that they own and blah blah blah. He makes up a bullshit excuse. So these are some small scenes that they have with Evan and his mom throughout the movie. um and he you know makes up another bullshit lie of, yeah, I lied when I didn't say I mean, when I said I didn't know him. It just he keeps making up bullshit lie after bullshit lie, and his mom kind of drops the subject, but you can tell she doesn't buy any of it. Um, she starts to question why he's missing um, his appointments with his therapist, and she kind of snaps at him, saying, those aren't free, and then immediately apologizes because, of course, she doesn't want to get upset with him. He's making up a small thing like, I only missed one meeting. Come on, ma'am. It's like, okay, But they try to have these scenes to show the rocky relationship with Evan and his mom, and it works so much better in the show than it does in the movie because they really just don't establish their relationship all that well. And a big reason for that is because they cut out the songs that Evan's mom has, songs that she actually sings in, that she's actually in. They remove. It's not a lot because she's not. I mean, she's in the show enough, but she's not in it a lot. But she's in it enough to have an impact. Whereas his mom in the movie is not in it enough really to have an impact, or at least as much of an impact. Um, so I mean, that's just a small scene. Um, to again show how rocky their relationship is. And the next scene is the song "Only Us." Um, Zoe comes to visit Evan at his house, and he's totally taken by surprise, and he's all thankful because his mom isn't home because his mom doesn't know about him hanging out with the Murphys, and it's really awkward at first because Evan's really awkward, which God damn it, I can relate to. If I had a girl that I had a crush on that just randomly came over to my house and wanted to talk, I'd probably do worse than Evan does. Let's be real here. But uh, yeah, Zoe kind of just asks Evan to. Well, she tells him that she likes him and she wants to be with him, but she doesn't want what they have to be built on Connor. you know, she's really appreciative of what he's done for her with Connor, but she's like, I like you for you. I don't like you because you were friends with my brother. Friends, she doesn't know. Um, and she's like, if we're gonna make this work, it needs to be just you and me, which hence the title Only Us. And it's a cute song. I like it a lot. The only reason I don't like it is because Evan just completely goes into it, because here's the girl of his dreams that he's had a crush on for years at this point, finally telling him that she wants to be with him. And so, you know, he's like, well, this is exactly what I've wanted, so what do I have to lose? He fully goes in, so it's like Zoe's part of the song is really cute because she really likes Evan, and it's like the first time you see Zoe really happy in the movie. It's like you have If I Could Tell Her, which is fine. You have that little bit at the end of You'll Be Found, which is fine, but Only Us is really the first and realistically only time you see Zoe happy, because while they're singing the song they have this little montage that plays of them like going on dates, like they go to what I'm assuming is a homecoming together, and that's really cute. You got pictures of her and Evan. The Murphys are taking pictures of them. You got shots of them at the dance dancing with each other, and you got shots of them like on a roller coaster at a carnival. It's cute. The only reason it's not cute is because of Evan and the fact that he's like, well, I manipulated her and now she wants to be with me, so I guess I win. It's like, ugh, it just feels gross. Um, but again, her side is really cute because it's real to her and she likes him based on what she thinks is the truth. But anyway, there's that scene. It's a great song. Um, Caitlin Deaver sounded great. I was kind of wondering. I listened to the soundtrack version of it before going to see the movie, and I thought she didn't really sound that good. But she actually does sound good in the movie, so it was a nice surprise. But cute song, like every other scene, it's filmed it's uninspired. The montage, the whole movie is just so not filmed well. It's so boring. Like you don't have to go for extravagance. Like I'm not asking for a big colorful set piece for every song, but don't make it bland either, which it so is. But that's such a small, bleh. um, but cute scene, and Evan and Zoe start dating. Um, and I think it was after this that um, Evan and Zoe are going to the Murphy's house, and they walk in and Evan sees that his mom is sitting on their couch talking to the Murphys, and Zoe's like, oh, I wanted to keep it a surprise, and Evan's completely taken aback because he never thought his two worlds would collide, and um, Zoe introduces herself to Evan's mom, and she's all, I'm so happy to finally meet you, and Evan's mom was like, oh, me too, who are you? It's so awkward. And they sit down and they're all chit chatting. The Murphys are talking to Evan's mom, and um, Evan, he either sits there in silence or he tries to bullshit a way out of the conversation. Like he asks about dinner and like completely irrelevant topics because he doesn't want his lie to be found out. And the Murphys are telling Evan's mom like, oh yeah, no, we love Evan, he's been coming over here all the time. And Evan's mom's like, really, why did I think you were at Jared's all the time? And he goes, I don't know. It like just almost completely fall apart. It's so bad. um, and there's kind of an unintentional moment of making fun of Evan's mom. Like it's not meant that way, but she, the Mrs. Murphy mentions Evan's writing, and Evan's mom says, "Oh yeah, he did this great paper on Sulu last year or something like that." And Evan goes, "Sula," and she's like, "Huh?" And he goes, "It's Sula," and she's like, "Oh." And Mr. Murphy's like, "Yeah, I believe Sulu's a character on Star Trek," and it's like, they're not trying to make fun of her, but they are. So it just really comes out mean spirited, and it's just so awkward. Um, and This is when the Murphys tell Evan's mom that they have decided that um, Evan has told them about their financial struggles and blah blah blah. So the Murphys want to give Evan the money that they set aside for Connor for college. And if things didn't go the way they go in the show and the lie kept happening, I totally believe Evan would have taken that. And God, as if he wasn't scummy enough, but I totally believe he would have gotten to the point because he's dating Zoe. He got that all based on a lie. So why would I think that he stops at getting money for a scholarship so he can go to college? Whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Probably getting this all wrong. Um, but Evan's mom gets all defensive, and she's like, I work, I work hard, and Evan will do what he does if he has to get a job. He will do that. I just don't want my son to live his life thinking that he's gonna get by just getting stuff from strangers. And they're like, the Murphys are like, well, we're not strangers. And Evan's mom's like, yeah, but you're not family either. And it's like, it just so, ooh. And then it cuts to Evan and his mom walking out of the house, and Evan's mom walking to her car, and she goes, well, I guess I better go see if I can get on a shift at work since apparently we're so financially troubled. And they have this argument, and, she's like, these people don't know you, and it's just this really Evan's mom trying to reach him, but he's such an asshole that he won't let her. And he says some really hurtful shit to his mom. It's so fucked up. It's so beyond fucked up because you put it into hindsight and it's like everything you've got with this family is built on lies. There's no foundation built here, and what little there is so tiny already with cracks in it that, dude, don't be a dick to your mom. Evan's mom is like, "Oh, I'm sorry that I couldn't give these things to you," and he says something like, "Well, it's not my fault if someone else can." It's like, what the fuck, dude? It just that whole scene is so messed up. But we quickly cut away from that, and this is where, if I remember correctly, this is where the song "Good for You" comes in the show. Which, damn it, they really needed to not cut that song out because you remove so much by cutting that song out. Um, it's kind of Evan's conscience taking the form of Jared, Alana, and his mom, kind of angry at him, saying, "You got what you always wanted. Good for you." And it's super condescending, and it's like, dude, do you even get how messed up this is? And Evan's so troubled by it, but he wants to keep the lie going because he doesn't want to lose what he has now. It's such a great song because it really, like, I feel like the manipulating the audience drops for a bit and says, hey, guess what, dude, you're fucked in the head and this needs to stop. um, and you're gonna lose everything if you keep this going. And I really hate that they cut it out because it's really an important song, and it's important for the song that Evan's mom sings at the end. Which, again, because the song's removed from the movie, that song at the end has a little less impact. But what do I know, right? um, but you got that, and or I guess you don't got that. And it quickly moves on to Evan's lie starts to unravel. Alana confronts him, and she's like, "You've been missing Connor Project meetings." During Only Us, they show a bit of Alana and Jared at a Connor Project meeting, and they're waiting on Evan, and they go, all right, well, I guess we'll just start without him. And then you see like 99% of the people that were there for that first meeting are not there. There's like three people, maybe. Like, the Connor Project has died, and Evan doesn't give a shit about it because he got what he wanted. So it's like, what's the point? I don't need to go to these stupid meetings because I got the girl and I got the family and blah 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 blah. And so Alana starts to question him, like, "Were you ever actually friends with Connor?" She tells him, she's like, "You know how easy it is to make up fake dates on emails, like backlogs and shit like that." And she's like, "Did you make me lie to all of these people?" And it really comes that close to, Evan's totally like not going to admit it to her, but it comes that close to just Alana figuring it out. At which point, Evan decides to text Alana a picture of what is being sold as Connor's suicide note, the note that Evan wrote to himself that Connor took. He sends it to her saying, "If Connor and I weren't friends, then why would he have written his suicide note to me?" And it's like, oh my god. Like, you already are an irredeemable bastard at this point, and you just think it can't get any worse, but then there it is. He's using what he's selling as a suicide note for his own gain. It's so fucked up. And yeah, I mean, the movie, the show is not trying to make you feel good about it. Like, it's not saying that what Evan's doing is right, but the fact that they put it in the show and the movie and then they want you to sympathize with him, it's like, no, you don't earn that. You don't get to have him do this fucked up, messed up shit and then boom, all of a sudden when he's upset, oh, you're gonna be upset because he's so sympathetic and you care about him so much. It's like, no, fuck you. But at this point, Alana decides to post what she thinks to be Connor's suicide note on the Connor Project website. She's like, people need to see this. And, she posts it, and immediately people start latching on, like, wow, this family's reaching out for donations for this Connor Project when they're so rich. And it's like, man, if I was part of that family, I'd kill myself too. And it's all hitting back at the Murphys, and that's it. Like, the entire internet that cares about the Connor Project is mad at the Murphys. Like, you literally see a comment that says, "I'd kill myself too if I was in that family," and it's like, holy shit. And Evan calls Alana, and he's like, "You got to take it down." She goes, "I did, but it's too late. It's already out there." And this is when you start to see it affect the Murphys. And this is when we get to a part that I really hate, that I really love it, because I can relate to it. But I'm not going to get into that now. We are very, very, very close to the end of the movie now. So I will probably finish my cover of my play-by-play of the movie in the next part. And then I'm going to have some closing thoughts where I plan on going into all the personal things that I've been through that make me relate to Dear Evan Hansen. Um, that's going to be really rough. And again, I'm very unmotivated to do this right now because nobody's watching these, but whatever. I guess I'll finish it at this point so I can get on to reviews I actually want to do, because I've seen some stuff that I really want to talk about. So anyway, I'm going to end this part here. I'll do the next part whenever I decide to. Who knows? But if you actually do watch this, thank you. Um, maybe even share it with your friends to get it out there for people to see. I don't know. It's important to me that this whole review is seen by people as I get into the things that I am talking about at the end. But anyway, we will get into that next time. And I will see you all whenever that is. So, hope you enjoyed.